Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adan.
and this is our DC-ness review of the Suicide Squad. Wait a minute, are you wearing a Marvel shirt?
Yeah, I don't have a DC right now.
You don't have a DC? DC. The new Suicide Squad movie came out, directed by James Gunn, the man who brought us Galaxy of the Guardians. No, who brought us
Guardians of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy. It just premiered on HBO Max and theaters nationwide. We got this version because James Gunn, where he was accused of something he did on Twitter 10 years ago or something like that, and Disney thought they were being politically correct and took him off, where we know Disney has skeletons in their huge closet themselves. So I find what they did with him very hypocritical, but we got Suicide Squad. Your first take on this?
Them being hypocritical or Suicide Squad?
James Gunn's touch on Suicide Squad.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. It's like there, and we'll go into the details of it. But and of course, as always, there will be spoilers. It is very, very well done. It's artistic. It has action. It has dark comedy. It has the blood and gore. And oddly enough, it is like a love tribute to the characters in the story. Well, not really a story, but like the essence, what Task Force esque is now in comparison to what it used to be. And if DC was to hold on to doing these kind of movies, I would be happy with them.
It was way, way better than the first one. I cannot watch that movie. I mean, if I want to see a Ghostbusters movie, I'll watch Ghostbusters. This was refreshing. It was no real origin story like how they did the first one.
Yeah, this
character
is almost
came to be. It's almost like a sequel and reboot.
At the same time, yes.
Similar to Masters of the Universe Revelations. So it just keeps going. We have the same actress playing Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Real quick, do you think this is part of the Zack Snyder universe? Since we have the same Amanda Waller.
Same Amanda Waller, same Margot Robbie, and same Rick Flag. It can be, because right now the Zack Snyder universe is technically not done with. We still have Flashpoint coming across. So by the time we're done Flashpoint, we may be out of the Zack Snyder verse. As of right now, I would say this is probably canon until they tell us like it's an alternate reality. Because they're not saying that the original squad mission didn't exist. It's just that the original squad mission was the first mission. This is them after a couple of jumps in there. And they had Boomer.
Which is kind of funny on this one, where I appreciate how they did with the advertisements, with the commercials, with the trailers, that you think is a huge cast of villains coming together for a mission. And then within 10 minutes in,
they got
half of them are dead. Yeah, they're the Expendables.
I was watching it and thinking Deadpool, X-Force.
But I was thinking also, since Sylvester Stallone's playing the voice of, what's his name?
King Shark.
Right, King Shark. But they gave him a regular
Nananoe.
Yeah, it was weird. You had those characters who we thought was going to be in a movie throughout the whole thing. They're done with full star cast. The list is way too long to name. It's just so many. Mm-hmm. Granted, majority of them are done within the first 10 minutes, but it's still a full star cast. But I just want to take a note that the guy who does all the voices for the clones, Bad Batch, he's in it as well, and he plays Sebastian the rat.
That's funny.
I did like this movie. Overall, this was a fun movie. I did get bored here and there, I won't lie, but in comparison to the first one, the original, this is way better. It being an R film, the tone was appropriate. I don't mind the grotesque violence. And it kind of reminded me of the animated film Suicide Squad, Assault on Arkham.
Actually, it reminded me of both of the versions, Hell to Pay and Assault on Arkham. But yes, I was thinking of Assault on Arkham initially when I was watching it, and when we were having the downtime moments between the squad,
right,
as they're getting to know each other, and that's when it reminded me of Hell to Pay. I always made the argument that the animated versions was how they should have done Suicide Squad, and this is as close as we're gonna get, and I actually agree with you.
It did a really good job executing. I just find that Bloodsport was too similar to Will Smith's Deadshot, both being men of color, both being single fathers. They both have a daughter. It was just kind of too on the nose. It's like as if they originally had Will Smith and then Will Smith backed out and then they filled it up with this character and actor. I do like the fact that one of the main, I won't say villain, but challenges was Starro. And I was just like thinking, but wait a minute, the Golden Age, Justice League came together to stop Starro. But you have here the Suicide Squad. Cool. I mean, it's all right. And then there's a little callback from Justice League where they had like a Starro figure grabbing onto one of the
the electron that was in the Zack Snyder Justice League. It was Atlantean,
right?
But it wasn't the actual. It wasn't the actual Starlo. It was just.
It was very similar to how they did it here. But I wish that some of the cast members or the characters that were in their original Suicide Squad that we met, like Weasel. I would love to have seen Weasel with that squad. It would have been a pretty cool dynamic. Granted, you had a humanoid animal with King Shark, but I think it would have been a pretty cool add-on. This was ultra violent for any comic book film that we know of. I mean, you have The Boys, you have Invincible, but those are series. But as a film in recent times, this is pretty grotesque. The way they had some of the members were taken out. It was kind of reminded me of if Quentin Tarantino directed a superhero movie.
I can see that because of the stylization of certain things, how like they do
the violence right in your face.
No, the dialogue written in the scenes is like adding chapters without adding chapters. Now, then 8 minutes ago.
Right, like in the clouds or on the toilet seat or in the fire.
Operation Harley. This style's been done before, but Quentin Tarantino has done stuff like that, I feel.
Well, I'm just talking about with him, Quentin Tarantino was not shy of giving you that violence.
Like Django Unchained.
It was also almost borderline like Toxic Avenger kind of violence. If you remember how violent that was.
I do.
And I do like the fact that it was a switcheroo. Again, we're introduced by one group of people, and then we just find out they were actually a decoy. They were the sacrificial lamb for their real squad to come in. It was cool, but kind of messed up. And it showed how Amanda Waller didn't care what had to be done. She would just do it. And it showed her also in her element, in her office, how everyone was like, what a bitch. They didn't like her at all. And I like the fact, too, that since this obviously has been around for a while, now people are making bets. Who's going to be taken out first and stuff like that. Find that humorous.
It's kind of like Cabin in the Woods. When a new task or mission happen or a new group, they'll make wagers like who would die first and so forth like that.
Oh, so I didn't see that movie.
It's a horror film. It's basically those who know will understand. There is a office group that manages everything that happens behind the group. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's what happens here.
I like how James Gunn brings his friends into this, because the majority of the people in this movie are from Marvel, are from Guardians of the Galaxy. They're from Thor Ragnarok. So I think what he was doing with it initially was a big FU to Disney and Marvel for letting him go, because you have a lot of the actors from Guardians. You have
Taika Waititi. He's the first rat catcher, but he wasn't in the first group.
No, but he's in the movie as well. I'm talking about like overall. There's a lot of actors from Marvel that are in here that, again, I feel that James Gunn was like, okay, I'm gonna make this good, and I'm gonna put some of my people that were in Marvel into this, which I find kind of weird, because I thought Disney and Marvel had a contract with other actors that were in their films that they can't do other franchise films. I thought I read that somewhere, but I guess there's a stipulation somewhere that you can. Do you have a favorite scene?
It's hard to say if I have a favorite scene right now, but the scene where they're invading the rebels' camp to rescue Rick Flag.
I have to say the same thing.
It's a fun scene. And it shows like them how they work together. They're infiltrating. They're taking out. You get to see the natural skills of every member of the team, especially Peacemaker and Bloodsport, and as they make it kind of like a competition, you get to a point where Bloodsport's like, no one loves to show off. Peacemaker's like, unless they have some really cool stuff to show off, and Bloodsport's like, damn, that's true. And then when they finally get to Rick Flag, they realize, no, these are friends and allies. The leader of the group is like, why didn't any of my men alert me that you're here? And they're like, men, we didn't see no one. There's no one here. And everybody's like, this is super awkward. And King Shark calls up a finger.
That was my favorite scene as well. But they're following orders.
This is true.
Because Amanda Waller says, with extreme prejudice.
Yep.
So they were not in the wrong, even though they were wrong. I don't remember Rick Flag having such a Western accent from the first film.
He did.
Was it? Because it seemed really strong on this one. Maybe because I haven't seen it since the first time.
In
The
the first
original.
film, he didn't talk as much. He definitely talked more here. And it seemed like his character had gotten to a point where he's just more free form. He's more relaxed. In the first one, he's more by the books, to the numbers. I will get this
Right.
done. He was more like Peacemaker.
Well, I think it's because that was his first mission and first time being with the Suicide Squad, where here he's more seasoned. I like John Cena's how he's done. He's become very good in his acting skills. Oh, that also, sorry, Tidy Whities.
Oh,
He comes out as Tidy Whitey. I was like,
and he goes, "That's racist." And he goes, "That's not
I know.
racist." And they have a
I know.
debate about that. It's hilarious.
I know, like they're always trying to up each other because Bloodsport was right. They're pretty much the same character, just a black version and a white version in a sense of skill. Maybe not in a sense of morals or code.
And we find out later that's exactly the reason why Waller wanted him.
He was the failsafe.
He was the backup.
Yeah, he was that one person that has a secret agenda that no one else knows about until it comes to light. I also like the part where Milton.
Oh, the Milton scene.
Yeah, granted, that name and that actor, it doesn't match, but I like the fact that they keep doing this little like 5-minute rant about Milton. Like, who's Milton? Milton? Milty? It reminded me of, and I could be wrong, it could be an Easter egg, when Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin had a show and they had a skit. One of the characters was named Milton. And they'll say, "My name is Milton." And the other guy will look at the camera and go, "Milton?" That's what it felt like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the shows. I have it on DVD actually, those Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin shows. So I got a kick out of that. I could be wrong. It could be just something else.
I would say he did a better job with Harley Quinn than the Harley Quinn movie.
I'll say I didn't watch that. But does she have a Brooklyn accent?
It's more. It's more supposed to be kind of like, I want to say it's more supposed to be like Boston or
Her accent. It just seemed like it changed. Especially, I didn't see the Birds of Prey. I heard the action is really good, but the movie itself is. But from the first Suicide Squad, I remember her voice being a little higher.
But that was her first iteration, so she may have calmed it down a bit.
I would like to see another actress play Harley, to tell you the truth. I know people like Margot Robbie playing Harley, but I think if we can have multiple Batmans and multiple Jokers, I think it's okay to have multiple Harleys. I wouldn't mind seeing Tara Strong reprise her role and do it. I think she'll probably kill it. Is there any other characters that you really enjoyed?
Surprisingly, I grew to become a fan of Polka Dot.
Right? Yeah, me too.
Like,
it was kind of disturbing when he was dancing with his moms.
He was dancing?
You don't remember that? He was dancing at the club. There were the club scene.
Oh, yeah. Because, that shows into his psychology about him. He, like, sees everyone as his mom because he's traumatized.
I know. And I'm saying, I find that disturbing. Oh, and then you have a version of her with a beard. I was like,
His trauma is what makes him see his mom, and that's why he's able to kill people, even though he says he doesn't like killing people. But
right. But seeing his mom or visualizing
his mother,
it makes it easier.
Exactly.
Because he has such a hate
for
and
her.
Love. Yeah, for her. It's still a love hate, but the hate is stronger than the love.
And like I was watching, I'm like, this guy's more OP than, like, oh, he could technically win this, and he doesn't.
Well, yeah, because he gets stomped.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool. I mean, I don't know his history. I don't know his backstory.
Yeah, I'm not sure about his history and backstory. Story. I would have to research that. And who do you think they underutilized?
Weasel.
I thought the Thinker. No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Thinker didn't really seem to think, other than the fact. I'm just saying, no, because like
you're right.
He just seemed to be like your average scientist that's worked on a project for years.
But he didn't really do anything.
Your MO is supposed to be like you're one of the smartest guys here. You outplan and outthink people.
You would think he would have figured out how to use Starro.
Or like he would have been the guy they brought in to figure out how to use Sorrow.
They did, but he didn't do a good job of it.
Oh no, technically they didn't use him. He's just like, he was still experimenting.
But how long has it been? It's been like
30 years.
Hello. I do find it funny though, like when they're showing like the flashback with him, he has a few of those.
And in over years he adds more.
He has some more. I just find it funny. I don't know about you, but I was expecting a superhero to show up. Like in the original Suicide Squad, Batman, Bruce Wayne showed up. I was expecting Superman-esque kind of character to show up to help take down Starro. Of course, that wasn't the case, but I don't know. It just sounds like they're going to do like a cameo thing, or maybe I have a Shazam. I'm kind of glad I didn't get it, but I was expecting it. I think Weasel was just a weird character, and I would just love to have seen what he could have done more of, or what he could have done with the group. Granted, we thought he died, but he actually is alive. He wakes up at the end. Personally, I just think that was a missed opportunity. End credit scene. Do you think that was needed?
Kind of, because they are doing a Peacemaker show.
Oh, are they?
Yes. So the way that they ended it, if they did not have that scene in there, they would have had to throw that scene into the Peacemaker show to explain why he's still there.
I would rather have that. I didn't think it was needed. I think Weasel waking up a better end credit, because with Peacemaker still alive, it kind of made me feel there'd be a Suicide Squad 2, not the show.
No, that they already announced the show, and
I understand that, but what I'm saying is ending the movie with the end credits of Weasel waking up and running into the woods, you could have multiple choice opinions. There'll be another sequel, or Weasel's out to kill, he's on a rampage. That's how I would like to have seen it. And with the Peacemaker coming back for a show, that's cool. I welcome it. I think John Cena is awesome. He's really, like I said, grown as an actor. He was good in this. His portrayal was done very well. He's up there right with
Idris.
Is it the best one of the DCEU? No, it's good. It's watchable. James Gunn was the right person for this.
Yeah, we can agree with that.
Who else could have maybe done it? Maybe if Quentin was influenced to do it, I could see him doing that too. It would probably have a lot more dialogue. Oh, also, the action here. I mean, the movie itself is only, the movie without the credits is 2 hours and 4 minutes. And the action you're looking at here, which I thought some of the action scenes were way too long, in my opinion. You're looking at about 25 minutes of action in an over 2 hour movie. That's not a lot. There's a lot more, I guess, set up and talk, but the action was good, but it was just not to what I expected, especially from all the trailers and advertisements. But I did like the action. It was good. When it was done well. Kind of glad that Rick Flag is done, honestly. He was a character that I didn't really care for. I didn't care for him in the first one. Didn't really care for him in this one. I understand, using him as the connection. Any other scenes you like there before we head out?
Actually, kind of like the whole Starro bit. The reason why I liked the Starro bit was, one, it introduced like the whole backup plan idea. That's where it got serious in the story. It was like the darker version of what it was in the comics for Starro, because they would show like very intricately like what Starro can do. It was like, wow, someone really loves Starro. At least that's the vibe I got. And I'm like, that's kind of respectable, because Starro, when you look at it, it's a very silly looking and kind of silly character. But you can see like when they try to remove, like they show in one of the experiments, they try removing the Starro off the face, and there's no face there. And that's why they're like, he says, like, don't even bother trying to save these people. They're all dead corpses. Don't have remorse for them.
They're pretty much zombies. They're pretty much, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. And I'm like, that makes absolute sense. And I'm like, because in the comics, like, people go through that and they get saved, and they're like, they could just remove them. But here is like, no, you're dealing with an actual, essentially a parasite that takes over.
This film does deserve to be watched on the big screen.
Yes.
With all the big theatrics and stunts, and it needs to be seen in the big screen. We saw it in the comfort of our home, which is great, but I think I'll see it again in the big screen.
So on that note, what would you rate it?
Multi-fun. Yeah, I'll watch this again. I can't watch the original Suicide Squad. I can't. I don't know how much I can say it. I will watch it like porn, just for the action. I will not watch it for anything else. I cannot. It just, And you?
100% multi-fun, and I probably will watch it in theaters again. I definitely agree it deserves to be shined that way.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. That was our DC-ness review of the Suicide Squad. If you've seen it and you liked it, make a comment below. If you didn't like it, leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on it. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that like button. But until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
Adan, love you, bro.
Love you too.